Hello, Summit Seniors. Welcome to our second College Readiness webinar about creating your college list. Today, here's what we're going to do. You will enter your preliminary college list in Overgrad. We'll also start creating FSA IDs. An FSA ID is the ID you use to log into the FAFSA. We're doing these two things right now because we're about to dive into the application season. You need to know what kinds of schools you're going to apply to before you start that process. Also, the financial aid applications open next month, so we want to make sure you're set up for those. So here's our agenda. We're first going to overview what goes in a college list, what to think about. We'll look at some alumni advice. We're going to look at some definitions and recommendations on what colleges you could apply to. We'll talk about your next steps. As usual, you will debrief with your mentor group, and then you'll have time to work on your college readiness action items. You may be thinking to yourself right now, but what about my personal statement? On September 16th, the personal statement rough drafts were due on Overgrad. It is possible that you're in a great place and you're saying, hey, mine's done. It's also possible you're saying, hey, I'm not there yet. Your job is to keep working if you haven't completed this yet. You do have an opportunity to get more feedback at college application night, more details to come on what this looks like. And then if you have a specific question for feedback, you're always welcome to email collegereadiness@summitps.org and we can give you feedback that way. As a reminder, this is now your responsibility to work on your own. So our big goal today is really think about college lists. To start, we're going to look at an overview of how to look at college options. As you watch, make sure you listen and think, what kind of considerations do I want to make for my college list?
I think it can be so overwhelming, just the sheer number of schools. When you open up a guidebook and the guidebook is more than 1,000 pages long, you just wonder, where do you even start? But I think students who keep an open mind can do really well in the process because there's so many wonderful institutions out there and probably schools that you might never have even heard of. So if you're willing to go outside of your comfort zone, if you're willing to go to a school that you maybe haven't heard of or in a part of the country that you're not really familiar with, you can really open up many, many doors for yourself.
I think the process starts, let's start with academics. And so a student thinking a little bit about what they've done in the last 3 or 4 years with their academics, the classes they've taken, which classes they've really liked. Is it because of the teacher? Is it because of the subject? Is it because of the way it was taught? And really starting to think about, what they may want to study in college. And to think about, the way that material is delivered. Was it in lecture format? Did they do more group work? Did they do discussion-based conversations? And really thinking about what are the ways that they learn best, right? Ultimately for me, when I'm talking with students, especially low-income students that are, looking at this process with sort of, not a lot of help in the process, really thinking about how to put yourself in a position to be really successful in college. So thinking through those sorts of things, thinking through a little bit about community, right? So what kind of community are you going to be in? Who's in that community? Where are they from? Are they all from the local area? Are they from a national pool and an international pool? If you're an underrepresented student, an international student, those sorts of things, is there a population on that campus? If that's important to you, you can look at those sorts of factors. Extracurricular activities, the things that you're doing now in high school are the things you want to continue to do. So maybe you're a flute player and you want to continue to play in college, although you think you may want to be a biology major. Or is there a school where you can still be in the band and the symphony, but be a biology major?
Ask questions. Anything that comes to your mind, ask the question. There's no question that somebody else hasn't thought about or that you should feel, oh, that's a stupid question, I won't ask them that.
Sometimes I think students become stuck on one school when in fact there is no one perfect school out there for them. And in fact there are many, many, many schools that will be a good fit. And so it's more about figuring out what's the personality of a school and how does it mesh with your personality and what it is that you hope to achieve. Keeping that open mind so that you will have many options and you'll ultimately end up at a place where you'll be really excited to be and where you will be able to have incredible experiences that will really broaden your perspective.
So as you heard from the experts in the college process, there are a variety of things to consider, from academics to the personality of the school to the makeup of the student body. All these are really important questions to think about. What do you value as you make your college list? We're going to hear from some alumni now from Summit who talk about their process and give you some tips on how to make your college list. As you listen, try to take apart what are the biggest tips and what are you going to use as you apply to make your list.
Hello, my name is Karen Martinez and I graduated from Everest in 2014 and I went to UC Riverside and graduated in 2018. The way that I chose my colleges during high school was going based off of the schools that we visited. We were able to see different schools every year, and that kind of gave me a perspective of the different campuses and how they looked, the different type of cultures they had, the different type of diversity, as well as the food, which was one of my priorities, the cafeterias that they had, and the choices that they offered, as well as looking at my GPA, kind of just going based mainly on like, will I be able to get in? What is their, ratio of acceptance and all that stuff. I just wanted to have the most opportunity, and I didn't want to get my hopes up by applying and not really getting in. I really wanted to be able to get accepted into the schools that I wanted to go to and that I thought I could see myself there. So I kind of just wanted to look about what different clubs they had, what kind of classes they offered. At the same time, I didn't know what I wanted to study, so I kind of wanted to have a lot of different options. Some of the state schools don't have some programs that the UCs do. Vice versa, some UC schools don't have some of the classes that the state schools have. So I just kind of looked at all that, the classes, the diversity, and just their acceptance rate. And that is how I made my list, just kind of going based on my own experience of the schools I had visited, and as well as, what I heard from some of the teachers, certain schools I never visited, I never even knew about, but they kind of would mention them, and, some of the schools were more prestigious, so I would also look at that too. But yeah, that is how I made my list.
Hey guys, my name is Jason. I am currently a fourth year at UC Santa Cruz, and I was a part of the 2017 graduating class over at Everest. And I just wanted to give you guys some tips on creating a college list that helped me when I was in your guys' shoes. So the first one would be, first separate your colleges into 3 different tiers. First one being safety schools, the second one being competitive schools, and third one being reach schools. So the first one being safety schools are schools that will probably accept you and also give you a lot of money. It's good to have a cushion just in case all the other ones don't work out for whatever reason. So the second tier would be competitive schools, which are schools that you are basically in competition for, as the name says, and you have a chance of getting in, but it's not guaranteed. And then the third tier would be schools that you don't have a high chance of getting into. For a lot of people, these reach schools are schools with under 30% acceptance rate. But yeah, I hope these helped. Feel free to reach out to me at japostle@ucsc.edu if you guys have any more questions. I'm free to answer them. Yeah, good luck everybody.
Hi everyone, my name is Ellen and I was a member of Denali's class of 2020 who is currently attending Scripps College. This is my advice for you as you put together your college list. 1. Identify what you would like to see in a school. I would suggest making a list of 5 things you like about your school right now and 5 things you don't really like. Once you've identified those 10 things, look back at the things you don't like and find things that you would rather see, your ideal situation. And once you've done that, you have a list of what you want to see in a college. Look for those things as you research your college list. 2. Find safety schools that you would love to be at. A lot of us have dream top colleges, but we also have to be realistic. In the end, they're lottery schools. Find backup schools that you would be just as psyched to be at. And, in the end, maybe that's the one that wins you over. 3. Don't be afraid to reach out to students at the schools you're researching with questions you may have. Students are brutally honest, and that's why you'll get the most realistic looks at the schools that you're researching from them. Create a list of questions about your school or the school that you're interested in, and find someone, either someone you directly know or find connections. Another option is to look on the college's social media pages And you may find student highlights who you can reach out to. Students want to help you. My last piece of advice for you is to keep an open mind and expect the unexpected throughout this whole process. I definitely didn't know that I wanted to go to women's college when I first started my journey, and I didn't find my school until the very end of my search. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found my tips helpful. Good luck with your searches, and wishing you all the best. You got this. It's stressful, but in the end, it's so worth it.
Hey everybody, my name is Oscar Landa, and I'm part of Everest's first graduating class. I am a Sonoma State alumni who graduated with a computer science major and environmental studies major with a concentration in energy management and design. I'm currently working as an IT specialist, and I'm also working as a software developer for a startup company. So my advice is for you guys when picking the right school would be to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, but remember, be honest with every answer that you give yourself. And ask yourself, do I see myself 2 years from now in the school? Do I see myself graduating from the school? Do I see myself enjoying the school? And most important, is this what I really want? Because at the end of the day, it's your choice and only your choice. So do not let anybody influence you. Do not let your friends influence you or family. You know, remember at the end of the day, this choice will impact you for the rest of your life. So if you have to write it down, write the pros and cons on a physical paper about the school that you pick. Look at the clubs that the school has to offer. Look at the sports teams that the school has to offer. And also look at the classes that they offer. Do these classes interest you? Are these the classes you want to take? Are these the clubs that you want to be part of? So there's a lot when it comes down to picking the right school. But remember, you have time, and do not stress about it because you have help. Remember, communicate with your mentors if you need the help. Ask them for help. And always remember that they will always be willing to help you out.
Hey y'all, my name is Laura Ramirez and I am a rising senior at UC Davis, graduating in spring 2021, and I am here to talk to you about how to make the ideal college list. And trust me, as someone who applied to over 13 colleges, I understand the importance of making a concise college list that truly reflects what you hope to get out of the next 4 years. It'll save you so much time and so much stress. So, how to make the ideal college list? Honestly, I would set some time to really go through the basics, go through locality, what kind of weather you prefer, sizing, do you like a big school, small school? Really look into the culture that these schools offer, if they're very competitive, high-paced schools, or if they're more laid back, if they're known to give a lot of priority to their students of color, if diversity is really important. All of these things really matter because this is going to be your home for the next 4 years. And my next advice would be to look into the programs that these schools offer. If you know what you want to get into, make sure that these programs are well funded because that is going to be the education you receive. So the best of luck and remember to be your biggest advocate. Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody. Hello from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Some of you in class, or I guess virtual class, might know me, but my name is Benjamin Arts. I was asked here today by your teacher or whoever is running this event to go ahead and tell you about how I ended up choosing this college. It was a bit of a wild run, but I am currently sitting in my dorm at Cal Poly having the time of my life, and that is because of the system at Summit. Classes started today. It's a perfect fit, and even with COVID, everything seemed to work out. With a combination of junior year college readiness and senior year working with my mentor and my teachers, I ended up finding out that Cal Poly was the perfect school for me. The 4 points that I ended up looking at, and of course this might be different for you, because for example, one of mine is location. I wanted to go ahead and be in California so college would be cheaper and I was close to my parents. That was something that's very important. Maybe you love your parents less, or you want to go ahead and get out of this state. That is totally acceptable. And then you want to also go ahead and focus on location. You want to go to East Coast and visit New York and do different colleges like that. The second point for me was education, because you're going to college for what you will learn. Obviously, fun and everything like that will come along, and it is very important, but education is the first major thing for me that came through this. And alongside that, kind of at the same point, is my major, because you want to go ahead and pick something that fits with your career choice. When I said that I usually get paid for this, this is something that I'm trying to start working towards for my job. Obviously, if this doesn't work, we have second chance or second plans and stuff like that we've worked towards. And then lastly was my happiness. I've heard plenty of stories from friends that they get pulled out of their comfort of their homes, they get homesick and instantly leave. That's something that I didn't want to go ahead and face, or at least not all by myself. I ended up choosing UC Davis, and I was instantly nervous. Then I ended up hearing that my best friend went to Cal Poly SLO. I got accepted at Cal Poly SLO, so we talked about it. We ended up having a family dinner, communicating together what this would look like, and now we are both here at Cal Poly. Having someone close by to me that I've already known for 10 plus years is amazing for this period of time. So those are the 4 of my points that ended up making the perfect college choice over at Cal Poly. So my education, location, my major, and my happiness were all things. And you guys are going to be exploring that as well. Try and find your perfect 3 or 4 or 5 points that you think are very important. And best of luck on your college choices, and good luck with your year.
Hey Summit students, my name is Lourdes. I'm from Everest, graduating class of 2018, and it feels like forever ago since I have to think about anything having to do with the college application process. And if I could go back and give myself one piece of advice, it would be to not turn down the opportunity of a school or the opportunity to apply to a school based on the field I think I want to be in, because you don't know what you're really going to be into until you're there at the school, part of that community, and just really embracing everything that school really has to offer to you. I think that you guys are so awesome, and I know you guys are going to do great things, and just make sure you think about possibilities and not just that one thing you have in mind. Just really embrace everything that a school has to offer to you, and good luck.
To echo our alumni, you want to make sure you keep the possibilities open. As you saw, there are a number of factors or reasons people choose schools. Those are going to end up being personal to you and your values. We want you to consider those, and we also want to make sure you're choosing schools of different categories. A strong final college list will have at least 5 colleges in these categories. 1 to 2 reach, 1 to 2 target, 1 to 2 likely, 2 financially, 2 safety, at least 1 financial safety. A lottery school is not required. Let's break down what each of these mean. A lottery school is any school with an acceptance rate lower than 20% regardless of GPA. We call these the lottery because it's less likely that students are accepted, similar to the lottery where you're not sure, you buy 1 ticket, you're not sure if you're going to win. Lottery schools are like this. We do want you to include reach schools, however, where a school has an average admitted freshman GPA above yours. So you do want to be thoughtful about what your GPA is. You can find that information on your transcript or on Overgrad. A target school is a school where the average admitted GPA is equal or comparable to yours. A likely school is a school where the average admitted GPA is below yours. And then finally, a financial safety, we really want to emphasize, is a public college campus in the likely to target range. State schools are significantly more affordable for residents than out-of-state or private schools. So we strongly encourage that everyone has at least 1 financial safety on your list. You may be thinking to yourself now, but what school should I include really specifically? Here's some recommendations. If you're in California, you have above a 3.5, Fullerton, UC Davis, UC Irvine, UC Santa Barbara, Whittier, Occidental Loyola. 3.0 to 3.5, UC Merced, Riverside, Santa Cruz, Fresno, Northridge, Sacramento, University of Redlands, University of San Francisco. 2.5 to 3.0, SF State, East Bay, Humboldt, San Bernardino, San Marcos, Chico, Sonoma. 2.0 to 2.49, Holy Names Menlo College, Concordia University. 2.0 and below, New Mexico Highlands University. In Washington, if you have a 3.8 and above, UW Seattle, Whitman College. 3.5 to 3.8, Washington State University. This is an automatic admittance for students 3.6 and above. 3 to 3.5, Western Washington, UW Bothell, UW Tacoma. 2.5 to 3.0, Eastern, auto admit for those 3.0 and above. Central Washington. And then 2.5 and below, Evergreen State College.
Now it's time for you to start building your college lists. So we'll watch a short video that walks you through how to use Overgrad to follow colleges. Now, if you log into Overgrad yourself using your Summit email address and password, you can actually follow along with the video as well.
In this video, we will be taking a look at how a student, Andrea. So now that she has her academic information into Overgrad, we'll be able to use that individual profile and match her up against schools based on their reported admissions expectations. So what she'll do is she'll scroll down to where it says Add Colleges. This will take her to Overgrad's university search page. From here, she will be able to perform a search of national and state universities, both 4-year and 2-year, based on exactly what she is looking for. So to break this list down, she'll use our filters on the left-hand side. So first, she can select what type of school she's interested in. She can also set the admissions chances that she has based on her current academic progress and the expectations of the school. So she would select safety, match, or reach. And then she can also set other things like location, particular majors, net price, graduation rate by ethnicity, and anything else that she wants to make it a very unique experience for her. So she might happen to put in a few states that she's looking for schools in, and then perform her search. This will give her a very fast, short list of matched schools that are on her academic level based on her current progress. So when she finds a school that looks good for her, what she does is she clicks follow, and it will add it to the My Future page, which we're going to take a look at in just 1 second. So now that she's added a few schools, she goes up to My Future, and this is going to keep track in a plan of all of the different schools that she's looking at. So she can mix and match these and put them in order of her favorite or dream school. And more importantly, she'll then see how her current academic stats here in blue compare to the reported admissions expectations of each university that she's looking at. The way we make this visually understandable for all students is using these colored graduation caps to represent where students are doing well and where they might need to improve for each university that they're looking at. So for example, a green or a yellow hat mean that she's in really good shape, she's exceeding their expectations, she's on track. Whereas orange or red mean that that's a place where she needs to improve or she's not quite there yet. So in the example of Syracuse, which is her #1 school right now, she'll see that for her SAT, she has a yellow hat. That means she's on track. She's right in the middle of their average right now. However, she has an orange hat over course rigor and GPA. That lets her know that she's almost there. She's just below their GPA. And while she is taking a few advanced classes, Syracuse is looking for a really advanced course load.
So I want to highlight a few important points that the video glossed over. The first is that on the college search page, you can click on any college and it will pull up a more detailed profile of the school, including costs, demographics, and majors. So here's an example of Reed College's profile page. On the college profile page, we also want to direct your attention to the information on graduation rates, and if you scroll to the bottom of the screen, the average debt of graduates. We recommend that you look at schools with a graduation rate of at least 50%, and 70% is even better. So Overgrad shows you the graduation rate of the schools compared to the national average, and it also breaks down graduation rate by ethnicity. Please try to avoid schools with a graduation rate of less than 49%. The other factor to look at is the average indebtedness of students on graduation. Now, you hear stories about students who graduate with $100,000 in debt, and you do not want to be that person. So try to choose schools where the average debt is less than $30,000, because that's been found to be a manageable amount to pay off within 10 years. So you'll recall that we said your college list should have at least 5 schools, including reach, targets, and likelies. Once you've followed 5 colleges in Overgrad, you'll be able to use the option to analyze my college list. This will pull up a detailed report that compares your schools by academic fit, location, net price, and graduation rates. Now, to get the most out of your report, you should make sure that your GPA is reported accurately, and if you have standardized test scores, that you've also included them. If you don't have standardized test scores, that is fine. Most colleges will not be looking at them this cycle, even though Overgrad includes that information. So play with the data, have fun with it, but ultimately you want to choose schools where you feel like you will fit in and you will be successful. So do your research, check out individual colleges' websites, go on virtual tours, do chats with students if they're available, go to information sessions, go to the College Summit Fair that's going to be, Summit College Fair that's going to be on October 14th. See if you can imagine yourself attending the college and being happy there. You should be excited to go to any school on your list. Talk to your mentors, friends, and families to make sure that your list is a good reflection of you. The process in Overgrad is that you follow your colleges and then you add them to your application list. In the next video, we'll show you how to do that. When we on the College Readiness team say we're going to be looking at your final college list, it means the schools that you actually intend to apply to. So the takeaway here is that following a school does not mean the same thing as being on your college list.
Now that you know how to
welcome to how to create your final college list on Overgrad. My name is Mr. Abdul Duso, and I am the Director of College Readiness. Once you have followed at least 5 colleges on your My Future section, you can go to Applications in the top right corner, click that tab, and click View Applications. This should bring you to My Application section, also known as My Final College List. At Summit, in order to have your final college list completed, you must list your colleges in this section. We're going to add 2 colleges today. The first one is Santa Clara University. I'm going to do that by beginning to type Santa Clara, and it should auto-suggest a school for me. I'm going to click the school and click Add Application. This will bring up this pop-up window for the information. I'm applying regular decision. Even though there are early action, early decision options, I'm going to apply regular decision, which is generally a January 1st deadline. I'm going to apply using the Common App website, and the status is I will apply. Later on, when I've received my decision from Santa Clara University, I will return to this page and update the decision. So, for now, I'm going to apply, and I will hit Save. Great, I have now added Santa Clara University to my final college list. I'm now ready to add another college. I'm going to go back to my applications by clicking this button here in the top left corner, and I'm going to add another school. The great thing is I've already been following a couple of colleges before today. So I can see that here at the bottom. So I can choose to either quickly add application, or I can type in the name of the college. I'm going to add San Jose State University because I'm already following it. I click Add Application, and I go through the same process as I did for Santa Clara. I'm applying regular decision using San Jose State's website, which is the CSU Mentor. I will apply, and I click Save. I go back to my applications, and here I go. So far, I now have 2 colleges on my final college list. If I want to edit any of these schools, I click this little caret. I can click Application Details, Edit Application Info, get a checklist, or remove the application entirely. At Summit, in order to meet the requirement of having a final college list, you must have at least 5 colleges on this section of Overgrad. If you have any questions, please reach out to your mentor. Thank you.
Like Mr. Duso just showed us, this is how you will complete your action item for today. So now that we have gone through how to add your list, it is time to debrief with your mentor group. What did you hear from the experts, from the alumni and your peers? Why is this work important? Why did this make you think about? What did this make you think about? What questions do you still have? You can pause the video here. Welcome back. Thank you for debriefing with your mentor group. We wanted to take this opportunity and remind you about Cash for College. It is coming up on October 7th, and we expect all seniors and their families to attend. On this night, we will hear from experts about the FAFSA, about the California DREAM Act, or the WASFA. So please complete the following at home if you have a Social Security number. This will make the process a little faster. So one, you're going to want to create a federal student aid, also known as a FSA ID, at this URL. Create an ID for yourself using your Social Security number and full legal name. The ID is your electronic signature. If your parent or legal guardian has a Social Security number, have them create one also. Whoever will fill out the application with you. If you have a Social Security number, but your parent or guardian does not, you can still fill out the FAFSA. If you don't have a Social Security number, you will fill out the California DREAM Act, which does not require the ID. Record your username and password somewhere you will remember and not lose it. You're going to want to log into FAFSA a couple of more times throughout the year. To get familiar with the financial aid applications and all the different ones, there's more information on our website at college.summitps.org. Under Paying for College tab, you can find the financial aid information sheet, which will give you a little breakdown of each one. So the action items for today: bookmark this Overgrad how-to, also located on the College Readiness website. Follow at least 5 colleges in your My Future under My Colleges. Review the college list analysis. Add at least 5 colleges onto your application sections for your final college list. This is how we'll be able to see it on our end. You want 1 to 2 reach schools, 1 to 2 target schools, 1 to 2 likely schools, and 1 to 2 financial safety schools. Create your FSA ID for your FAFSA applications. If you're finished early, complete a letter of recommendation brag sheet. If you're applying to Common App schools, you're going to want to do this. Make a copy of this document. Save this document in your College Readiness Google Drive folder. Complete and share with your recommenders, at least your mentor and 1 other teacher. Every senior must have a final college list entered on Overgrad by October 2nd.